What's up, everybody? Patrice Tomlin, Maturely Fit, Health and Wellness. Hopefully you've had a good week, and hopefully this is a good start to a good weekend, even better weekend. In any event, I'm going to jump right in to the topic of discussion for the day. And I say discussion, I will be discussing it because it's something very important. I've gotten a lot of emails and messages in reference to this topic. And it hits close to home because I actually am in the process of doing this myself. Know what's in your policy. I learned way back in the day, don't sign anything before you read it. It does not matter what type of policy you have. Life insurance, health insurance, MedSup, long-term care, car, rental insurance, flood insurance, whatever you're insuring, jewelry, art, anything that you insure, that you have a vested interest in, that you are insuring and paying on a policy for, whether it's monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually, you are paying to be covered for whatever it is that you're asking for, and you want to know what your rights are and what you need to do in reference to making sure you're not being taken for granted and taken for a ride, that is with or without an agent. I kind of hit this topic because there's been an awful lot of emails in reference to discussion of what to do with policies. I'm not going to get into the blood and guts of what some of those emails are, but I'm going to brush over it. And if you want me to sit down and coach you on how to file a claim, how to do an appeal, and what to expect, and how to actually understand your policy, hit me up at maturelyfit@gmail.com, and I'll be happy to talk to you. Now, recently, I had to file an appeal for a supplemental medical policy that my husband and I have. We pay a pretty penny monthly for this particular policy. They did not want to pay the claim, and they pay the claims up until this one particular incident. However, I got a denial letter, and in this cute little denial letter, oh, it's funny, the wording that they were looking for was based upon what they Googled and found on the internet. Okay. So in my appeal letter, I Googled and found exactly what they typed to me verbatim. And also let them know that had they looked a little further, they would have seen what the doctor did and what the item in question actually meant. And then they turned around and lied and said that the doctor did not indicate that this was done. That is not correct. So in my particular case, I am dealing with an issue that could go all kinds of ways here. Anywho, don't let the insurance companies fool you. Don't let them bully you. Don't let them overtalk you. Know what you know. Read the fine print. Understand your coverage. Know what you're paying for. Monthly, quarterly, semi-annually, or annually. Know where your vested interests, what your vested interests are, and what the insurance company, which is the insurer, is paying for you, the insured. Okay, that's something that you're going to see in your policies. So let's just break it down a little bit for you here. Now, every policy is going to have a declaration page. It's going to be near the. It's going to be in the front of your actual policy, page 1 or 2. You know, it depends on the type of policy that you have. Your declarations page is actually going to tell you the type of coverage that you have, and it's a snapshot, basically, of your overall coverage. It's not really specific. It just gives you a summary of everything that you're covered for. Okay? Then you've got your schedules that comes after your declaration page. Schedules can be broken down where, say, if you got a property and casualty insurance coverage, and it may possibly be bundled with the automotive coverage or something like that. You got your house, your car, your motorbike, your ATVs, your boat. You know, all of that could be covered under your schedules, and that's actually going to give you a breakdown of the items that are going to be covered under that particular schedule, and what your limits are going to be for each of those particular items. Now, every contract has, and of course, policy. You may hear me say contract, but that's what it is. If you're signing, it is a contract. If it's an agreement between two parties, they're agreeing to pay you in the event of a loss, because that's basically what insurance is. They cover losses. You cover the premium, which is the payment. Okay. You've got the insuring agreement. That's also going to be up near the front of your actual policy. Now, it's basically a contract of the responsibilities of you and the insurance company, what their risk is to your risk. Okay, that you're going to be paying the agreed upon premium, and based on that, and as long as your claims are told to them in a timely manner, whatever the timely manner is that they throw out into your contract, that's what you agree upon and that's what you sign. Now, your policy coverage is actually, aside from the snapshot or the overall package of all of your covered property or your covered whatever you're insuring, it's going to tell you your limits, and it's going to give you a little bit more detailed explanation of how to apply the coverage, or how the coverage is applied. And the deductibles, it talks about your limits and if there are any sub-limits or anything. It's going to talk about that. Your exclusions. All insurance policies have exclusions. We will pay this, except we will not. In the event of yada, 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 we will not. An act of God, act of peril, act of you falling down the steps, or whatever the situation is. That's what your exclusion page is. Everything that is not covered on the policy, in the policy, or at the time of the issuance of the policy. Okay, then you've got your conditions. Your conditions actually also outline specific conditions, specific circumstances when you apply a claim. Just like in my particular situation with the medical, with the healthcare supplement, I file a claim, and based on this condition, I get paid for this claim. Okay, so that's basically what the conditions are. It's telling you that based on proof of loss, and they verify it and they send it to their claims department and they say, yada, okay, we'll, direct deposit her a check, and here we go. Okay, and then you've got your endorsements. Endorsements are anything that's amended to your policy. Now, people may have a change of need for insurance. Your insurance needs are going to change as times change and as situations change. So endorsements could be riders to your policy. They could be additional things that you need to add to your policy. Just prime example, you got a whole life insurance coverage and you want to add your kids onto it. You just got married. You want to add your husband onto it, or your spouse onto it. Okay, so you have the whole life policy and you want to add your spouse or your significant other and your children. And these are riders. These are endorsements. These are additional things that have changed since the original time that you got the policy. So that's considered endorsement. Now, you're going to have, throughout the course of your policy, you may see highlighted, or maybe not highlighted, bolded letters or words. These words can be referred to in the back of your policy, which is where the glossary section is. Okay, and the glossary, of course, is going to give you more layman's terms to make it easier for you to understand. So, of course, if you have, and it's a lot to read, it's a lot to go over, and I know a lot of the verbiage is probably, but the bottom line is contact your agent, contact the actual company reps, if it's Nationwide, New York Life, Aflac, any of these companies, Allstate, contact a customer service rep, dial the 800 number, get up with them, and they may actually be able to transfer you to a line that has your state licensed insurance agents that can ask or answer specific questions for you. So don't be afraid to get yourself out there, put yourself out on a limb and say, listen, this is what I want, this is what I expect, and this is what I need a question answered for. If you do have an agent that you're working with, make sure that he or she is a good agent, that they get back with you maximum 48 hours, especially if it's a weekend. But during the week, there is no reason for them to take 2 days to get back with you. So you definitely want to make sure that you have a good agent. If you're not working with the agent, but you signed up directly to the company, like through AARP, like I did with New York Life and AARP. So, but I knew what I was asking for. I knew what I was getting. So I knew, and of course I've been a licensed insurance agent. So I knew what the situation was. And most people don't know. If you don't know, don't be ashamed and don't be afraid to call the company and say, hey, I have a question. I need an answer. Can you help me? If not, can you find an agent in my area that can get back with me? Somebody that I can work with specifically. Okay? And trust me, they'll do their best to find something for you. And if you're unable to get any help at the time frame that you need, by all means, give me a call or send me an email. I'll be happy to help you to get situated and get you moving along your way. Anyway, always know what's in your policy. Don't waste time spinning your wheels trying to figure it out on your own. There is no harm in asking. If there is something that you need, ask for it. Ask for help. Everybody needs a hand up. Not a handout, but a hand up. Okay, we're all in this together. Y'all have a great weekend.